Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about how I made new friends as a kid because it changed once video games entered the picture. I've mentioned Chris before. Chris was my best friend. He introduced me to G.I. Joe. When Chris and I met, I don't know if I've told this story, but we met on a shuttle van going to our different schools. It was towards the end of the school year, so spring. And we strike up this conversation talking about Masters of the Universe figures. Like when you're a kid, it just seems like you need to have one common interest to strike up a conversation. And then pretty soon you become friends and you're doing overnights and all that stuff. So Chris and I met because of our shared interest in the toys that we played with. And that's pretty much how I met friends through most of elementary school. My elementary school was kindergarten through fourth grade. And then like fifth grade and sixth grade, it was like this intermediate building. And then you went on to the junior high and the high school. And first through fourth grade, I like primarily met all of my friends through conversations about toys. And maybe fourth grade, definitely fifth grade, that started to change. The NES was out, it was very popular, and conversations were changing in that you talked about video games all the time. And from like that point on, I was starting to age out of toys, which probably is one part of it, but just video games just exploded and everybody practically had them. So I started meeting new friends because of our shared interest in video games. And I met like friends of my friends just because of video games. Like there was friends that I hung out just with my other friends only because they had some game that like the two of us wanted to play. And there was other friends that I had where we had these superficial friendships that were based off of me just wanting to play some game that they had. So the way I met friends completely changed. And by the time I got into middle school, those friendships were all built off video games, but they weren't superficial anymore. Like that was our common point of interest. And that's how I made new friends. But there's like this weird time, fourth and fifth grade, where it's like, oh yeah, I want to hang out at your house because you have a game that I really want to play. And so we're going to be, friends, like friends. And so when I eventually started going to this new school, fifth grade, I had to start riding the school bus, and I met this kid named Steven, and I don't remember how Steven and I met. I don't know if it was because of toys or video games. It might have been a mixture of both, because I remember going over to his house, and he had the Mask Boulder Hill playset, which I thought was awesome. He had the Scorponok action figure for Transformers, and it was also the first place that I ever saw Final Fantasy. So it might have been a mix between the two, but Steven had a friend who lived across the street named Brock. And the only reason I wanted to hang out with Brock was to play his video games. Like, that was it. He's the only person that I've ever known that had a ferret as a pet, but I met Brock through Steven, and the game that we're going to play today is like the game that I wanted to go over there and play. So it was this completely superficial friendship based on my selfishness to play this game. In fact, when we moved, the only friend that I kept was Chris. Like, Chris and I, our friendship wasn't built off this superficial want to play each other's video games. We shared a common interest in these toys. We both ended up getting video game systems, and that just gave us another interest to interact with when we did overnights. Because like Chris was my first best friend. He was the first overnight that I ever had. He invited me over, and we just played with the action figure in his room the whole night. We just played with toys. And I can remember us going to bed at 10:30, and I remember thinking, oh my God, it's super late. I'm going to bed at 10:30. But when we moved, Steven, Brock, I never saw those guys again. You know, that friendship really wasn't a friendship. It was just a superficial friendship. But Chris I kept. And so I enter a new school district, and at this point on, I am older, so I'm not playing with toys as much. But now all the friends that I'm meeting, it's because of a shared interest in video games. You know, all of us have aged out of playing with toys. Now we're all about video games. So now that is our common point of interest that we are building our friendships off of. And I feel like people my age, so I was born in 1979, and I'm assuming that that was kind of unique to our age group in that we started off making friends because of the toys that we played with, analog action figure type toys, Legos, whatever. And then as we aged out of those, we met all of our friends because of video games. And I'm wondering if, you know, the younger kids of today, you know, kids maybe born in the, I don't know, late 90s, maybe, or the early 2000s, you know, were their original friendships built off of video games right from the start? Did they really play with action figures or other toys? I don't know, that just seems, that whole thing seems interesting to me. I think that we were kind of in a unique age group where that happened. You know, I start meeting people in middle school, and all these friendships are based off of video games because that's what we were primarily doing. And I don't really hang out with my friends that much anymore. I mean, I have my own life. My friends have their own lives. But one of my friends that I met because of a conversation on a school bus about video games, I mean, we're still friends. I still know his whole family. I still see his family from time to time. You know, that's not a superficial friendship. It is a friendship that will last, even though we don't spend time together that much. I have very fond memories of our time together as children playing video games through middle school and high school. So I just find it interesting how the dynamics of me making friends changed, and how there's that selfish area where I just hung out with kids to play the games that they had, which really sounds terrible, but it also doesn't sound surprising because that's probably what a kid is going to do. The game that we're going to play today is a game that Brock had. He had all the Mega Mans that had been released to that point. I had never played Mega Man 1. I had rented Mega Man 2, but he had Mega Man 3, and I really wanted to play that. That was like the main reason I went over to Brock's house, is that I wanted to play Mega Man 3. I was also introduced to Marble Madness and Renegade, and I talked earlier about, you know, how kids, they just kind of make stuff up, like, hey, I jumped over the flagpole in Super Mario Brothers. I think Brock might have told me like a big video game lie. When we were playing, or when he was playing Renegade, I was just watching for most of the time that I went over there. I don't actually remember if I got to play Mega Man when I went over there or not. I watched him play a lot of his games. But there's these two bosses you have to fight at the same time in Renegade, and they're martial artists, and they're like in this dojo thing, and there's this TV in the background. I think it's like tuned in like channel 2 or something like that. And Brock was like, yeah, these two guys, they learned how to do martial arts off the TV. Although I think when we were kids, we called all forms of martial arts karate because of the Karate Kid. So, you know, these guys, they learned how to do karate from watching this TV. I have no idea if that's true. I kind of doubt it, and it just makes me wonder if that's, you know, one of those lies that kids say, like jumping over the flagpole in Super Mario Brothers. But I only went over to Brock's house to play this game, and I did not stay friends with him. Like, we moved. I don't even know if I had Brock's phone number. I still have Chris's house phone number memorized, because when we were kids, like, my parents were separated, so I would see my dad every other weekend, and on the weekends that I was home, usually on Friday nights, I would go over to Chris's house, like every weekend that I was home. So every other weekend I was going over to Chris's house. On Friday nights, because his mom would always mop the kitchen floor on Saturday morning, and we would get stuck down in the basement playing video games or playing with toys until the floor had dried. Anyways, so we're going to play Mega Man 3 today. I love the Mega Man games. They are fantastic. I'm not very good at them. I suppose with practice I could become good at them, but I kind of just fumble my way through them. But I wanted to choose this game because really it's the only Mega Man game that we're probably going to play. And I did. I went over to Brock's house strictly to play this game. Like, it almost kind of bothers me, and it really shouldn't, but it's this very selfish, superficial thing where I hung out with this kid just to play this video game that he had that I didn't have. And I'm probably not alone in that happening, but I don't know. It just, now that I'm older and I have more ethics and morals, it seems kind of sleazy. But it probably isn't, because that's what kids are going to do. So let's play Mega Man 3 for the Nintendo. Alright guys, we are playing Mega Man 3 for the Nintendo. I printed off a cheat sheet for what order we have to take out the robot masters in, because I can't remember. So I'm going to start with Magnet Man. I like this screen where it shows the robot master and what his name is. And for me, the gameplay of this, you know, is a key aspect of the game, but I really like the robot masters. It was always interesting to see what the new masters were going to be when a new Mega Man game came out. And I really liked seeing the submissions in Nintendo Power for what readers had come up with. I mean, some of them are pretty good, and then some of them get a little goofy. So this guy, I cannot remember his name. We have to fight him. Oh boy. I think like 3 times? I don't remember. Anyways, we gotta fight that guy a couple times. Oh, wow, free guy already. I'm gonna need it because I am not good at Mega Man games. I kind of, just like I said, stumbled my way through them, and I'm just gonna wait for these guys to drop down and then just move over and avoid them. So I like in the Mega Man games how every Robot Master stage is kind of tailored to them. Well, some more than others. Like, so this is Magnet Man, and these generators here are like magnets, so they'll pull you in. Some stages are better at that than others. I think Top Man's stage is just really, to me, it doesn't reflect his name or his ability at all. So I sometimes struggle with these blocks. So we'll see how I do here. When I get to this one, I just use Rush Coil. Maybe that's what everybody does. I don't know. Well, I screwed that up. We'll try this again. I just use Rush Coil, and then I just bounce up to there, and then all it good. And we are doing all right. Sometimes I really struggle with those. So, Mega Man game, you touch spikes, you are dead. Instant death. Wow. I am... Jeez. Is there health down here? Because I really screwed that up. Sweet. If I can just get past this without... Alright. This game, kind of like I mentioned in the Darkwing, when I was playing Darkwing Duck, you can only shoot so many projectiles at a time. Yeah, you can only shoot 3, so sometimes when I go through, I'll just have a steady pace of projectiles going, because maybe you can catch an enemy and kill them. And every time I go to fight a Robot Master, I like to, you know, jump through the door. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to catch him when his shield ends so I can get some shots into him. Like I said, I don't know. I just struggle with these games. Yeah. You know, this is a boss where you just use your normal Mega Buster, and it's just a matter of figuring out his pattern. That's all it is. I don't know. Sometimes I just struggle. Doing much better this time. Ugh. There we go. So now that we've beat Magnet Man, I will get his special weapon. I believe his is Magnet Missiles? Magnet Missiles. And then there'll always be a Robot Master who has a weakness to one of the other Robot Master's weapons. You can see there on the, like in the middle of the screen on the right hand side, there's that graphical glitch or error. That is in the game. That isn't like dirty contacts or anything like that. That is unfortunately in the game. So you'll see that bee flew up there and it has like a little hive attached to it. I just despawned these guys. They will drop the hive and like 5 smaller bees will break out of the thing. Which we'll see later. There's one part where I can't really avoid it, so... So here's a part where we have to use Rush Coil. I know I probably don't need to do that. I like topping things off. Like, I think it's my OCD or something. Like, I haven't been diagnosed with OCD, but I just, whenever a resource is low, I like topping off whatever resource that is. You know, if it's the rounds of ammunition in the magazine of a weapon that I'm using, or like this, the energy level of a special weapon, I just like doing it. Now this guy, he'll drop down and he'll start jumping around. Oh god, I spawned the other one in. It's kind of like those annoying guys from Batman. So if we get positioned, yeah, right here, I can just, yeah, like that. I can stay on the ladder and I can miss his weapon and then still shoot him in the foot and get him. Just try to get out of here and avoid that guy. So like I was talking about how they will, the stages for the Robot Masters will kind of be reflected towards whatever their gimmick is. This one's kind of, like this is hard man, so you've got, you know, metal and stone, things that are durable and hard. I mean, it works, but there's Robot Masters which they are able to incorporate the level design much more, or much better, to the actual gimmick of that, you know, of said Robot Master. Ooh, got some slowdown there. Jeez. Alright. That didn't go so well. Alright, here's the part where we'll see the bee. And we're just gonna get out of here. Oh, we gotta fight this guy, and I'm not the greatest on health. But when we kill him, or defeat him, I guess, we don't really kill him, there'll be an energy pellet down here. And this is kind of like a mid-level boss. There's larger bosses that, like that are mid-level bosses. Ooh, I should have switched over my... Gonna go ahead and use the energy tank, because I think that's probably the only way I'm going to be able to beat this guy. Hopefully. Even that might not even do it. As long as I can just not make physical contact with him. Alright, not the most graceful, but got the job done. So after beating him, I'll get Hard Knuckle Special Weapon. I like this music. When you get to the screen and it's showing you your new special weapon and what the color layout is of Mega Man. And next we go to Top Man. Like, Top Man's one of the more, kind of not as interesting Robot Masters. And his level, like, you look at this level and, I mean, just right now there's nothing that really stands out, you know. In some of these levels that you go into, you can see that the level design, you know, what it is. Oh, I hate these things. It never fails that. Like I said, Terrible at Mega Man games. Wasn't lying. Wasn't lying at all. You guys are gonna see some of the you guys are gonna see some of the worst Mega Man gameplay on the internet. But as I was saying, like, you look at Top Man's level here, and it looks like these are plants. You know, it just doesn't really fit the character. Down here and refill Rush Coil. So this game had a few nice additions. The slide mechanic is really nice. And you use it, you know, you can use it quite a bit to your advantage when fighting robot masters or even other basic enemies. And then the same with Rush. Rush was a really great addition to the game. I mean, who doesn't like animals? Well, some people don't like animals, but most people like animals. Oh, look at that. But having a robotic dog, you know, it's like man's best friend and that. And yeah, the slowdown is really messing up my timing. Oh, so when I was playing Darkwing Duck, this is the screen that I was talking about, where you drop down, you run to the left, you run to the right, kind of this transitional Mega Man type of screen. That is exactly what I was referencing there. That went pretty good. Looks like that guy launched fleas at me. Kind of gross. That kind of looks like plants, like encased in glass or ice. I don't know. When we get to the end of his stage, you'll actually see, like, wow. Oh my god. I cannot believe I've gotten so many free guys. Alright, here you go. Here's an actual reference to Top Man. These things will spin. There we go, and Top Man's right in here, so we'll get Hard Knuckle ready. Whoops. See, like, when you're fighting some of the robot masters, like, the special weapon attacks, the ones that they're weak to, some of them it just seems like it obliterates them. And then other ones it doesn't. So I don't know if there's certain periods where the robot masters are weak, like particularly vulnerable to attack. Because there's sometimes, like, actually this next, who's next? Yeah, so Shadow Man. We gotta use Top Man's top spin. There's times I will blow through all of the energy for the top spin, and I'll barely damage Shadow Man. And if I don't have that, like, I'm not beating this guy. I can't beat Robot Masters if I don't have the weapon that they're weak to. Like, I need all the help I can get in these games. So a lot of times, if I'm fighting a Robot Master and I use up all of the special weapon energy, I'm hosed. Like, I just have to, you know, kill myself and then just start over again. I was hoping I was going to get him that time and be done with him, but that did not happen. This is one part of the game, like I was talking about how I will space shots out. This is one part where I'll do it because those grenade guys. I'll try to, you know, shoot a projectile out so that hopefully, as soon as they come on the screen, they're hitting my projectile and they're dead. How did I not hit that guy? I don't know how I can struggle so much with these basic enemies, but that's how good I am at Mega Man. the basic enemies will just take me out sometimes before I even get to the boss. And here you want to kind of move the screen over before those parachute-y guys drop down. Otherwise you'll jump to that platform like right there. See, he would have like landed right on top of me. Oh. Alright, let's see how this goes. Like I said, I don't know. I don't think I really know how to use the top spin weapon correctly, because I'm not kidding, I will blow right through this whole thing. Alright, see, now there we got him. That actually went really well. But there's times where I'll blow through all the energy on that thing, and Shadow Man's not even half dead, and I am hosed. I am not beating him. Rush Marine. I believe that's the submarine that he turns into. So next is Sparkman. Sparkman literally is a spark plug with arms and legs. Which is pretty cool. Although his level design, I don't know, maybe this is supposed to be a power plant? Because there's like sparks jumping right below me there and the needles and everything are going crazy, so maybe this is like a power plant. Those guys are cool looking. So he's only vulnerable when his face shield is down, which happens just before he throws his bolo. I think that's a bolo. I don't know what that is. Ball and chain. Alright, so obviously they've got spikes on the roof, so when we jump on these things, I guess there's an arrow on there, they're going to go up. And we'll have to get the timing right on this. This should be... no. Oh! I don't even know how I got hit that first time. I thought I was clear. That part kind of sucks. You really got to time that right. And we'll use rush coil. Huh, that's kind of weird. That looks like a block of recycled plastic. Like it's all been crushed and formed into a block. Okay. I don't see this actually going well. How do you... Alright. Oh. Well, it worked fine until I fell off. I feel like I should just rush through this thing. We'll try one more time. I just haven't... I don't know how I'm supposed to get past that. If I can't figure it out one more time, then I think we'll just call it quits. So this is the only thing I can really think of is that maybe, well, I use my magnet missiles. All right. So let's see, this was Spark Band, so I have to use the Shadow. All right. And Snake Man uses the normal, the Mega Buster. So yeah, I'll need his weapon to defeat one of the other two. This is a stage I'm not really familiar with. I don't know how this is going to go, but I do remember this stage. I mean, just the look of it is... this is just fantastic. Wow, those guys are really bouncy. Let's do this shadow thing. I wasn't even watching that guy. They're nice enough to put two of them there. That's cool. No, stay away from me. Time to go. I'm just gonna play it safe right here. I could get up there and jump over his weapon, but I just don't really feel like it. And so we got two ladders here. One probably gives us power-ups of some sort. Let's go right. Question mark. I don't think that was quite full yet. Well, that wasn't overly helpful. Let's go this side. I can get another shot on him, yeah. See, this is definitely a level where it really incorporates the Robot Master's gimmick very well into the level and the enemies. I guess, I don't know if this guy's part of the level or an enemy or what, but you know, they did a really good job of incorporating it. Oh, come on, give me some health. Good lord. This is obviously a pixel perfect jump. Last guy. Alright, here we go. Oh, this is unsettling. Easily fall to my death. Well, I kind of thought I jumped too early. Alright, well, that's not too terribly bad. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I'm not the greatest at Mega Man. But I was at least able to defeat the majority of the Robot Masters, although when you beat all the Mega Man 3 Robot Masters, you have to go back and then defeat all the ones from Mega Man 2, which is pretty cool. Which I've never done. I've never gotten there. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.